Hello, my loves. Welcome to Elevate Her Path. My name's Daniela, and on here I help women stop playing small and start elevating their lives. If you are interested in faith, business, mindset, and all the real inner work it takes to become an A player in your own life, then you come to the right place. Today, by the way, we are going to be talking about 10 things I'd stop doing to elevate my life. And you want to know why? Because it's the perfect time. It's summertime. It's time to get that summer glow up. I know your energy is riled up. Okay, I know you're ready for a transformation because it's summer. Okay, you had the liberty to. So why not take advantage of the time that you have now? I don't want you to just keep on thinking about becoming her or keep on talking about becoming whoever you want to become. I want you to actually build it. And that's why I'm giving you these tips today. And one more thing, I think when we think of the summer glow up, we just talk about looks like getting cute hair, nails, outfits, makeup, all those beautiful things. And that's cute, that really is. But a real glow up is when you start reflecting peace, when you start being more structured, when you start focusing on yourself, all these different things. That is a real glow up, and that will just elevate you in every single way, not just your looks. And I want you to feel that. So that's why I'm talking about this. Here's the first thing. Potential needs receipts. This right here is going to be a call out for a lot of us because I think a lot of us believe that potential is progress. But I think potential and thinking about who you can become and all these little things and fantasizing about it can actually lead us to delaying our progress. It can lead us to delaying the person that we want to be because we are not doing the things that we should be doing to get there. And I know it's fun. I know it's fun to romanticize your life and all these different things, but we need to be more clear on who we want to be and how to act on it. And that's where potential needs receipts comes along. That's why I'm talking about this, because we need to start proving to ourselves who we want to be, not just thinking about it. Because potential, it feels good. But progress, that actually changes your life. And a lot of us women, we are emotionally attached to the woman that we want to become, but we are not honest about the woman that we are practicing being every single day. And that's where I want to address this, because a lot of women are emotionally attached to the person that they want to become, but they are not practicing it every single day. Okay, because it's easy to imagine the healthiest version of yourself all day instead of actually doing it. It's easy, okay, to think about, I could have this money, okay, if I do this business and I'll get this, if I do these studies then I'll get this. But that's just thinking about it. That's not acting on it, okay? And the most successful people act right away. They act, they do, okay? And that's where I want to help you build, not in your imagination, but in your actual day-to-day. Because honey, if your potential was enough, you would actually be where you wanted to be already, but you're not. So I think that's a sign. And I'm not putting you down. I think you having a vision yourself, that means you're going somewhere. But I will say those capabilities need action. You need direction. So you need to sit down and take the time to rationalize what are you doing day to day and how you can fix it and align it towards where you want to be in 10 years or 5 years. Yes, you have to think that far. I know it's scary too, because you're like, I have to define all these things. But if you don't define it, how are you supposed to act on it? Okay, I want you to think about that. And another thing is, think about this. God can give you all the gifts, vision, intelligence, creativity, hunger for more, but you still have to steward it. You still have to plan. You still have to do. You still have to be. You have to become, okay? God is going to give you all the tools, but you need to use them. You still have to become useful when He places something special inside of you. So this summer, I would stop being okay with just being impressed with thinking about the person you could be and start asking yourself instead, what proof am I building to become that person? What did I do last week that is getting me closer to my goal? What did I do today that proves that I'm taking my goals seriously? Where did I choose my future over my mood? Thinking like this is how you elevate yourself. Not by just having potential, but turning that potential into evidence. Okay, enough about potential. Let's talk about the second point, which the second thing I would stop doing is waiting for a crisis for me to move or for me to change. And this is going to hit a lot of women because I know most of us, we wait for something horrible to happen to us for us to act. Okay, we wait until we're heartbroken. We wait until money gets scary, the body feels exhausted, until we lose the opportunity, until we tell God, okay, now I get it. That's what we wait for. And yes, pain can be a good wake-up call, and God can use those moments. But wisdom is when you do not need the pain to learn the same lesson. That is a higher level woman. She does not need her whole life to fall apart before she gets serious about her life. She sees the wrong direction early and corrects it. She sees the pattern. She listens to conviction. She pays attention when something is off. I want us to get to that point where we have that type of discernment. But unfortunately, most of us think like this. Like, I know you know that you have to get more serious about your health. I know you know that you need more structure in your life, or that you need to have a better Bible time with God, or that you need to stop entertaining toxic people, all those different things. I know you know it. But because nothing has fully fallen apart in your life yet, you are not acting on it because it's not hurting you. But eventually it will. And being in that zone is really dangerous. And I want us to be prepared because not everything that is costing you will destroy you immediately. Some things cost you slowly over time. Your lack of structure costs you opportunities, okay? Your emotional decisions can lead to making bad ones. Your low standards can lead you to living a life that you were never even supposed to live. All these different things do have a price. And I don't want you to get to a point where you are so low that you can't get back up. So realize now that every small moment does matter, okay? It all does add up. It was but all those moments that you knew better, but you didn't move differently. Summer, I don't want you to wait for something bad to happen to you. Get ahead of the problem. If you can see where something is going, respond to it. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is change while you still have a choice. Okay, and if you want to be that high level woman, then you need to prepare early. You need to correct early. You need to respond early. You need to pay attention and be aware early. And it is harder, but the things that you want are not free. Okay, so do the hard things so you can receive the good fruit. Okay, so the third thing I would stop doing is assuming that my surroundings are my ceiling. Maybe you grew up around people who did not have a vision, who didn't understand finance, who didn't understand discipline, who didn't understand emotional maturity, all these different things. And you grew up around a toxic environment. And most of us do. Most of us do experience those things. But I want to get you out of that limiting mindset because all that you experience is not all that is out there. And the bad things that you've experienced may have shaped you, but it does not get to finish you. You are not done. Stop thinking that, oh, this is it. If you had nobody to model discipline for you, you can become the disciplined person and model that for others. If your family has unhealthy patterns, you can decide to end those toxic patterns and be an example. If the people around you think small, think big for yourself and show that to others. And I'm not saying that's easy because being different is hard, but this may just mean that you are called to be the first one. And this can change your generation. It can change the life for your family, all these different things. So I think it's very, very important to stop letting those around you limit you. If you know you can be better, if you can do better, be better. Don't let anyone stop you from that. They don't have the right. You get to decide. Because those people around you that are telling you negative things, they don't understand where you're going and they haven't achieved what you want to achieve. So why are you going to listen to them? Because the reason they are where they are is because they didn't take the risk. They didn't strive to be different. Okay, so be the first one to think differently. Be the first one to move differently. Be the first one to do the things that you gotta do so you can get to where you want to go. And it's going to feel lonely. I'm not gonna lie to you. And you're gonna doubt yourself sometimes. And you are going to feel like you can't handle it anymore. But guess what? You are not alone. You have God by your side. You have me rooting for you. and you have so much potential. So why waste it on doubts? Why waste your energy on anxiety? Why waste your energy on things that don't even matter? I want you to stop letting your survival mindset win. Let faith guide you. Another thing is that when you start moving differently, people might not get it and they may think you're too much. They may ask you why you're changing and say, stay the same. They may assume that your ambition is just dramatic or egotistical. But wanting better does not mean you're better than everybody else. It means that you're finally being honest what God has put inside of you. And unfortunately, for a lot of people, that is hard to face because they don't want to change themselves. They don't want to face the things they have done wrong so that they can get to the other side. They're okay with being stuck. But if you're watching this right now, I know you're not. I know you want to do better. So if you want to do better, you are going to have to think differently from those around you. This summer, stop acting like the room that you're in gets to tell you what is possible. Get around better information, start reading more. Listen to better conversations. Expose yourself to people who think bigger because you really are the 5 people that you hang around with. And if you are hanging around good information, ambitious podcasts, things that are transforming your mindset, you are going to change. And thank God we have access to the internet because we have access to so much information now. There are no blockers. The only blocker is you and how you're allocating your time and who you are listening to along the way. And most of the time, you don't need another life, okay? You don't need to be another person. You just need to see that another way of living is possible for you. So remember that your surroundings are not your ceiling. They are just your starting point. Moving on to the 4th thing, which is I'd stop confusing familiar with God ordained. This one is subtle, but this will change the way that you make decisions. Not everything that feels normal is meant for you. Sometimes it is only normal because you have repeated it for so long. The anxiety feels normal. This chaos feels normal. The low standards feels normal. Normal does not always mean it's healthy. Familiar does not always mean that it's aligned. And familiar definitely does not mean that it's God ordained. Sometimes the thing that feels like home is the exact thing that God is trying to free you from, because your body can get comfortable with what your spirit has outgrown. You can be used to disappointment, used to doing everything alone, used to shrinking your mindset, used to having this survival way of living. And if something healthier shows up, you will feel strange. Like, this is not for me. It will feel so foreign and uncomfortable. And you will think, maybe this isn't right. That feeling doesn't always mean that it's wrong. It could mean that you are being stretched because it's something new. Here are a few examples. Peace feels uncomfortable maybe because you were surrounded by so much chaos in your life. And maybe stability feels so uncomfortable because inconsistency is what you were trained to expect. Or discipline feels restrictive because you are so used to being led by your mood and someone taught you to live that way. You shouldn't be just asking yourself, does this feel familiar? Does this feel good? You should be asking yourself, what fruit is this producing? Is this making me wiser, more peaceful, more disciplined, more connected to God, more into the person that I want to become? Or is this producing confusion, anxiety, insecurity, and the same version of myself that I want to outgrow? The fruit is what tells the truth. So stop listening to your emotions and focus on the outcome of consistently repeating that habit. So this summer, be aware if something is pulling you back into the same cycle. Stop romanticizing it just because it's what you're used to. That's where I want to bring in movies, because a lot of movies allude to a lot of negative behaviors. And that's where we have to make sure that what we do is actually what we want to reflect. Not doing something just because someone tells you it feels good. Because a lot of times, a feeling is just a feeling. It doesn't mean it's good for you. So remind yourself that you are allowed to outgrow what once felt normal. You are allowed to leave the patterns that once felt like home. You're allowed to stop calling something peace just because it feels predictable. A higher level woman learns the difference between comfort. Okay. A higher level woman learns the difference between comfort and alignment. And when she sees the bad fruit, she stops making excuses for the tree. So stop focusing on what used to feel like home and start focusing on what you can start building now. What is going to be your new home? What do you want to have? Okay, the fifth thing I would stop doing is confusing busyness with clarity. This is one of the biggest ones for me because I like to say that I'm an ambitious person, that I'm a disciplined person. And a lot of times I assume that being productive means being busy and packing everything in one day. But a lot of times that leads to burnout, or I feel overwhelmed, and it leads to me actually not accomplishing anything that I wrote down. And if you're like me, we need to stop this cycle because it could lead to a lot of gaps of what you're supposed to be doing. You can do all the 10 things you want and still not do the actual thing that you're supposed to do. And that right there is not elevation, that's avoidance. Because a lot of times our mind has too many tabs open, okay? Think about it. Like we're thinking about our family, money, body, faith, family, goals, health, all these things, okay? We're thinking about it all simultaneously. And it's ironic because a lot of times we're like, why are we not hitting our goals? Or why do we feel so scattered and overwhelmed if we have all this set, quote unquote? But it's because our brains are not meant to be a whole entire operating system. At some point, you're going to have to sit down and write it out. And this is boring and something that we are not used to because we are used to every single day just living vicariously through our phone. And that's where we need to eliminate our distractions. A lot of us are not able to think for ourselves, do things for ourselves, because we are being controlled by a device or by a schedule that is not helping us, stuff like that. So we need to restructure our day to align with where we are heading. So the questions you need to sit down and ask yourself are, what are you actually needing to get done? What matters right now? What is urgent? What is distraction? What are the distractions in your life? What would move my life forward if I stayed focused on those certain things? And I think that's what we're missing in our life. We're missing strategy. We need to sit down and strategize every single day. The most successful people that I know, they have strategy sessions like at least 3 times a week, at least, okay? Because structure, strategy, they matter. And when I added that to my routine, my life changed a lot. So I'm going to let you guys know what I'm doing. I have so many goals. I have so many ambitions, clearly. And I just didn't know how to format it in a way where I could do all of it because we cannot do all of it. We can't. And that's okay. That's good. I think that's the first truth that we need to let sit in. I cannot do everything. I cannot. Okay? But what I'm going to do is set realistic goals that are going to get me to where I want to be eventually. So I think it's necessary to sit down, write your goals out, and figure out what are the exact things I need to do. What is the timeline? What are the procedures? What do I need to eliminate? All those different things so I can actually achieve that goal. Once you write those out, you need balance. And so what I did was I did A days and B days. So for A days, usually in my schedule now, some of my goals is reading and math, all these different things, subjects, because, I'm studying, but I also want to study my things on the side, right? Or like learning about business structures, learning about how I can help you guys out, learning about all these different things because I love to learn, I love to grow. So my certain goals, right, I make sure to put it into an A and B system. So A days, I usually read a book. I have strategy sessions. I go on a walk. I don't eat desserts. I'm trying to balance my diet out because I know sugar isn't good for us. So I'm eating sugar 3 times a week. I'm starting to do that because I know that's going to help me and benefit me over time because like we said in the beginning, everything has a cost. Okay, and I can continue eating the delicious sweets and they're so good, but are they gonna help me as I get older? It won't. So I'm trying to stop it, okay? There's a cost. I need to be more disciplined, but it's going to help me feel better, look better, and continue to prolong my life. And that's one of my goals, to have a healthy life. So I need to act on it. And that's what I'm trying to do. And setting those goals and actually sitting down and writing out your life, writing out your pain points, writing out what you can do better on, all those things, it actually activates this sense of self-thinking. And I don't think this sense of introspection. And I don't think a lot of us do that enough, because we are on autopilot through AI, through what's being thrown at us, all these different things, because we're distracted every single day. And I want us to eliminate that noise as much as we can, because if we eliminate the noise, we are going to be able to max out our lives. We are going to be able to do the things that God has put in our heart even better, because unfortunately, we are letting things that don't even matter consume our days. And I don't want to live a life that way. I don't want you to live a life that way. So those habits are going to have to change, and you are going to have to find the systems that are going to work for you. Because for example, the A and B system may work for me, but it may not work for you. You may have different goals, or you just are a different type of person. So you need to figure out what does work for you and look for all these different productivity systems or stuff like that, strategies, all these different things. We have the internet, so use it to your advantage. So really act on what I just said. Pause, write it down, prioritize, prepare, then move forward. Really, busyness is not a flex if you have no direction. Clarity is the flex. Structure is the flex. The saying, work smarter, not harder, applies here. So strive to eliminate the noise and actually know what matters and move forward with intention, because that will get you further in life. The sixth thing that I'd stop doing that I think ties into 5 really well is that I would stop choosing goals just to impress people that do not align with who I am. We live in a world now where everything is mostly a performance. We are trying to impress our parents. We're trying to impress the people around us. We're trying to impress social media. We're trying to impress that boy. That is dangerous, because you can have a life that feels successful on the outside, but can feel so disconnected on the inside. And that is dangerous, because you can have a life that feels so successful on the outside, but still feel so disconnected on the inside. A goal can get applause and still not fit with your spirit. You can chase the body, the success, the business, the relationship, and still feel empty, because you were never building from truth. You were never building from yourself. You were building from an image. You were building for someone else. And I think a lot of women realize that too late, because we like to people please. And unfortunately, all that time that you took to impress those people usually is not enough, because they're going to think, okay, you did that, cool. What's the next thing? We are never going to be enough for people. So instead of trying to build for others, build for you, build for God, build for what you know this world should have. Those type of things, like build grander than just trying to impress someone. So I want every woman who is listening to this right now to ask herself, do I really want this, or do I just want to be seen by someone? That is a question that will save you years, because strangers don't have to live your life every single day. You do, because you are going to have to be the one to wake up. You are going to be the one who has to carry the pressure, the schedule, the sacrifice, the emotional cost, all those things. So make sure the life that you're building is not so it looks beautiful to everybody else, but that it feels like you when nobody is watching. That matters for any area of your life. Think about business. You want to build income, a platform, a company, a skill set, a future. You cannot just choose goals because they feel high level. You need to choose skills that make you more valuable, more skilled, more useful, more aligned, and more alive. The goal is not to impress people, it's to build a life you respect. That's why I think we need to be careful with what we chase, because some goals are just borrowed desires you saw someone else do and you just wanted to copy it because of the applause that they gained from it. But really, you need to make sure it's what you want, that you want to carry that responsibility, that you want to have that daily reality. So this summer, choose the goals that actually represent you. Okay, Choose the goals that you actually want to succeed in. Goals that actually help you love your life more. Goals that actually feed your soul. Goals that give you freedom, skill, income, wealth, wisdom, peace, love, all these things. Strive for that. Not just for goals that make people say, wow. Build a life that feels good to live, not just to post. This episode is running a bit long, but I'm going to continue. The seventh thing I'd stop doing is letting temporary emotions make permanent decisions. You feel anxious, so you eat more than you planned. You feel overwhelmed, so then you avoid the thing that you were supposed to do. You feel lonely, so you text the person you shouldn't have texted. You feel behind, so you spiral instead of resetting. Okay, this is where a lot of women lose progress because they let temporary emotions become their leader. And listen, because your emotions are real and you should not avoid them. Like, I'm not saying to pretend that you're fine and everything's fine and push all your emotions down. That is not healthy. What I am saying is that your feelings are not always qualified to run your life because our mindset and our feelings, it usually causes us to have thoughts of extremities like, okay, if I had a bad day, then my life sucks. Or feeling like I'm behind, so I'm behind forever. I give up. Or someone says something bad about you and it leads to you hurting yourself. All those different things. Those are extremities. And that's part of being human. We can also fix those flaws. Remember what I said? Recognize the pattern. If this is a pattern for you, we need to solve it. We need to find a solution. Because true maturity is learning how to feel something without letting it make the decision for you. That is a skill. Your better self, she pauses and she asks, is this true or is this just for a moment? That question right there is going to save you from making a lot of mistakes that you will regret in the long run. Because you should not be putting your identity based on emotions because emotions fluctuate up and down. But decisions can create real consequences. So we need to be aware of that. I need to say this carefully because this is not about arrogance. It really is about understanding who should speak into your life and who shouldn't. Because not everyone should speak into your future. Because some people love you but do not have your vision. Some people care about you but they are fear-led. And some people may be close to you but they are not qualified to guide you where God is taking you. And that does not make them bad. It just means that you need to have wisdom. Because for example, if someone in your life does not have wisdom, be careful letting them define what wisdom should be. If someone is not building anything, be careful letting them talk about how you should build. And if someone has made peace with average, be careful with letting them call your ambition too much. Do not let the people that you don't want to be lead you. Do not. If someone does not have the peace, faith, wisdom, emotional maturity, or the fruit in the area that you want, do not hand them the steering wheel to your life. Do not let them drive. Some people can give you comfort but not strategy. Some people can give you opinions and not wisdom. Some people can give love but not the leadership. Know the difference. Because when you start elevating, people are going to have their opinions. They're going to question you and ask, why are you so serious? Or why are you even trying to build? Or get a real job. Or they're going to say stuff like that, okay? You have to decide whose voice really matters. A woman with true vision and calling has to protect her ears. That is real because you cannot let people who are not building anything talk you out of becoming something. You can love people without letting their fear become your limit. So this summer, audit the voices. Who are you letting influence you? Who are you letting normalize the version of you that you are trying to outgrow? Be careful and beware because your future is too important to be shaped by people who do not respect what God is building within you. The ninth thing that I'd stop doing is trying to become impressive before becoming useful. This one is big for women who want success, business, influence, leadership, all of that. Because the internet has made people want to look successful before actually knowing how to solve the problems. Actually knowing what it entails to have the business or to have the relationship or to have the thing that they want. Because nowadays, people want the CEO look before they know how to serve a customer. Or they want to have the founder identity before building the skills that you need to be a founder. And I'm saying it's not that easy. They want the look of being the expert before actually earning the depth. And I get it because all of us want to be respected. We all want to be seen as capable. But impressive should not be the goal. Being useful should. A woman can solve problems. A useful woman can build skills. A useful woman creates value. A useful woman can bring order, ideas, excellence, strategy, peace, clarity, or wisdom to the table, to the room. That is powerful. I had to realize that I don't need to learn anything just so people can think I'm cool or impressive. I need to learn skills that are going to build my future. Build a life that's going to have meaning. Create a lifestyle that is going to make me feel alive. What I have now is to actually learn things that are going to light up my soul, learn things that are going to bring me freedom, learn things that are going to be useful in rooms that matter. That is much better than trying to look impressive or trying to appease people. Figure out what you want to do. And everything I'm talking about in this podcast, they are scary conversations that you have to have with yourself. But if you really want to take your life seriously, you are going to have those hard conversations. In this world right now, we do not need more women who look elevated, who look useful, who look impressive. We need women who can actually build, lead, create income, solve problems, bring people back to Jesus, and make rooms better because they are in them. We need more of that. I think this world has enough women that are trying to look impressive or elevated or luxurious. We need more women who can actually build, who can create, who can solve problems, who can lead a room, who can bring people back to Jesus. We need women who can impact. So that is the woman that we should strive to become. Our goals should align with that. Last but not least, number 10, I'd stop assuming that later is guaranteed. I want to say this gently but clearly. You right here, you are not behind, okay? But you are also not timeless. Both can be true. And I do not believe in shaming yourself because you are not where you thought you would be at the age that you are right now. Do not shame yourself, okay? I do not believe in rushing from fear, okay? Because fear just creates a mess. Do not rush the process. But I also do not believe in pretending time is not passing. For example, this summer, it's gonna pass like this, okay, in a flash. This year will continue to move and you'll be like, wow, we're already in 2027 already? Like, we're already in 2027? We're gonna think that way. Time does not pause while you decide if you're ready. And that's not supposed to scare you, it's supposed to wake you up. Because later should not be the strategy. Later should not be the plan. Future is not magically going to appear if you keep your current habits going. You're just delaying where you want to be. God has given you this time. God has given you these gifts, this mind, this body, these ideas, your voice, your opportunities, your future. He has given it to you. This is not by accident. So stop treating your life like something that you can keep postponing. Use this season. Use these longer days. Use the energy to do something. You don't have to fix your life all in one day, but you do have to choose to move forward. Pick one thing and see where that takes you. Write it down, pray about it, build structure around it, and actually start moving differently. This is your season to glow up. And as we go along with more episodes, I will show you how to get there, but you need to do this for you. Okay, so those are the 10 things I'd stop doing to elevate my life. I really do hope that you guys learned something today, that you guys feel pumped for the summer and you're ready to get into it, okay? It's gonna be a good summer and it's going to be an elevated one. Okay, this is the end of the episode. I really do hope that you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next week. And remember, keep trusting God, keep elevating your lives, and keep becoming the person I know you were created to be. See you guys, bye.